Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 2, Episode 2. Happy Ides of March, don't get assassinated. Today we're going to be looking at a puzzle called Vama. This is a puzzle type that I have not seen before, but it does look a little bit similar to some that we have looked at already, so I think we'll hit the ground running. But before we can know that for sure, we need to take a look at the rules. Vama is a shading puzzle where we will shade some cells such that every row, column, and outline region contains exactly 2 shaded cells. That's the same basic rule that we see in Star Battle, which you might be more familiar with. So that's saying in this top row here, we need exactly 2 shaded cells. In the first column, we need 2 shaded cells. And in this large L-shaped region here, we need 2 shaded cells. All shaded cells in the grid must form one connected network orthogonally and/or diagonally. So the word orthogonally basically means not diagonally in this context. So it's just saying that from any one cell in the shaded cell in the solution, we can get to any other shaded cell in the solution by going through edges and corners. And so we can't reach another shaded cell this way, but we can go down through this corner and then across and then up and up and up and to the right, and we can get to that one. So those are the rules of Vama. Now it's time to solve a puzzle. Today's Vama puzzle was set by Shye. How are we going to get started in a puzzle like this? If this were a Star Battle, I would start by saying, oh, in the shape like this cell can never be shaded because it would knock out all of the ones next to it. But we're almost doing the opposite here, where we need the cells to be connected. So I am wondering whether we can start with big regions instead of small regions, possibly. There is some stuff that we can know about this largest region here, in that we've got to cross it from these to the rest here, and we're only going to be able to do that. We're not going to be able to do that across this big gulf in the middle, because we can't trace 2 cells and get anywhere. If we had just one cell in one of these 2 zones, that would be enough to bridge the gap. So we don't have to use both of them for a single bridge, but we're going to have to use at least one of them, and the other one's going to have to be either part of the bridge or be part of the border. So that does rule these out, but I'm not sure that's getting us anywhere. We can also probably get rid of some possibilities at the bottom right corner here, because again, we're going to need to stretch out to the outside world. And if we were at the bottom, how far down could this go and still be connected? If we were here, we would need 1 cell in this region and then at least 1 in this region, and then we could get connected to the upside. So I think this might be okay, but these would not be. This is probably the same right here. We could go 1, 2, actually from here, we could go 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Could we do that here too? I guess technically, yes, if it weren't for this part, we could have gone 1, 2, 3, say, but we would need to use up 2 cells from this region to do that. And we need at least one of them to connect over here. So this one, could we go 1, 2, 3? I think we could. So that is not probably where I'm supposed to start. So let's look at the rule about having to have 2 cells in. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's where I should be doing more Sudoku-y things. Okay. This region, I should have obviously been just thinking harder about the top left, because that's usually where the break-in is hidden in these puzzles. This region has 2 shaded cells in it. but also this row has 2 shaded cells in it. So the 2 that are here take up all we have for the row. So these are not shaded. And that means the other 2 in this region must be shaded, which means the rest in this row are not shaded. And now we've got 2 in here that are, but we don't know which 2. But now we can do connection, because where are the 2 going to live in this region? They're going to have to connect. So we got to have them there and there for sure. Okay, now this can connect either of these places. This will connect 2 of these places. So let's see. Oh, but let's do the same trick we started with, sort of. This region needs 2 more. They're both going to be from here, and that's going to take up both that we have for this 3rd row. So this 3rd row, none of those are shaded. Now this needs to get out, so it goes there. And this region is going to have 2 cells shaded here, so none of these are. Okay, how about the bottom left? Is there anything in these L's that could work a similar way? This needs 2, but I guess there's nothing forcing that to be on either particular side of this. We do know that at most 1 cell down here is shaded, because as we said, we needed at least one to form the bridge. And so at most 1 of these is, so at least 1 of these is possibly useful, but I'm not seeing it quite yet. This column has only 1, all of these have only 1 more to give. So what does that mean? That means that these 2 shaded cells in this region are going to be in different columns. Oh, they're going to be in different columns. And so these 2 plus this one take care of the rest of this column. So those are not shaded. One of these 2 is. One of these 3 is. So this is not. Okay, and then this big region, of course, is less helpful than that. Okay, so we've got 1 here, 1 in these 3, and 1 here, 1 here. Since we've got 1 here and 1 in these 3, then we have a total of 1 more shaded cell to put in this entire region. I think that's the key. Only 1 cell can be shaded in this entire area, and if it didn't include this one, oh no, this is a possibility right here. I was going to say that if it didn't include this one, we couldn't connect them, but we could through this little alley there, I see. Oh, bummer. I thought that was going to be great. Okay, so back to this. We know that exactly 1 cell in this area. I'm going to mark this area blue here, just so we know what we're talking about. This blue area has exactly 1 shaded cell in it, because we have exactly 1 here and exactly, no, I was miscounting. Okay, the skies have opened, hallelujah. This region has 2 unaccounted for shaded cells. I was missing the borders were confusing me there. So this has 1, this has 2, and that does account for all of the shaded cells in all 3 of these columns. Now we don't know exactly how they're disposed in that combination, but we do know that they're all there, so none of these are shaded. And that means that the The thing that I was sad about before is now what I'm happy about that this is the only way this can get through. So we're going to have that shaded and then that one and then some combination. Actually, either one looks like it will work there, which is worrying because that seems like a deadly pattern. So I may have made a mistake here. Oh, no, I'm okay because this group has to get out as well. So this one has to be shaded and this one has to be shaded. All right, that saves me my bacon right there. So these two are shaded, so that's not. And now we have that, and we have completed this top part. This, now we can't have any more in that column. We can't have any more in this row. So the other one here has to connect. It goes there. All right, we've finished everything. We need one more shaded cell that will come from one of these two. And then we got to deal with what's going on in this bottom left corner. What can we say about that? Okay, so since one of these is shaded, we're going to need to make our way all the way down, which we kind of would have to anyway because of this L. We can only have one more shaded cell in this column. We can only have one more shaded cell in this. Oh, this is more interesting. This means there's only one more shaded cell in this row, and it needs to connect to this one right there. So these are out. So we got one of these right here. Now in this column, we've knocked out all of these. There's going to be two more, and that's going to take care of all of the shades we have in this region. We've got one of these two shaded from this one. We've got one of these two shaded from this region. So between those, we haven't quite done it. One of these two. Suppose neither of these. Oh, but we need to have at least one of these. There we go. This region, this could be shaded, and at least one of these must be shaded, even if this is, in order to get our requisite 2. So since at least one of these is, and we can have at most one more in this column, that means one of these is shaded, this is not shaded, this is, and this is, to make our 2 there and our 2 here. We've taken care of both of them in this row. We've taken care of both of them in this row. And now we need one more here. We've taken care of both of them in this column. We need 2 more in this region. They go there, knocking out these. So now we need one more in this column. This one would be stranded, so it's there. And we need one more here, 2 more here, and one more here, 2 more here. And somehow these have to connect, so this is one of them. That knocks out this cell from the column. That knocks out these 2 cells from the row, and that gives us 2 more to fill in. And that is how you solve a Vama.